So William Wallace just swung by, dropped off his pocket knife for me to test out and review for you guys here today on the channel. So this thing is like a pocket sword. We're looking here today at the Gerber 06 Auto 10-year anniversary edition. This thing's been around for 10 years, seen a lot of action. It is a monster. We will also be running it up against its little brother that we recently reviewed, the Gerber Propel, because they're similar in price point. They both have the same steel and they're both auto knives with more of a tactical combat feel. So I think for a lot of you, like myself, you may be deciding between the two, what's the better knife for you. So we will be running in its little brother in comparison throughout this video, just to discuss performance as well as capability. And as we dive into this knife, I want to encourage you to consider making Gideon's Tactical part of your regular YouTube experience. We're cranking out videos every single week here, from EDC to outdoors to tactical and everything in between, giving you guys full, comprehensive, honest reviews so that you guys can spend your hard-earned money wisely. And that's what we always want to do here at the channel. So I hope you consider making Gideon's Tactical part of your YouTube experience. So let's go ahead, hit the tabletop, see what this knife can do and whether or not it's going to be the right choice for you. All right, let's go ahead and hit the blade here on this design. Just massive, just draws me in when I see the blade profile on this knife. From handle to tip being about 3.625 inches overall, cutting edge is 3.5. So, you know, like your Rat Model 1s and a lot of those type of folders, they're just on that 3.5 inch arena there. This does have a saber grind that does go up about 2/3 of the blade. This one is a stonewash finish. You can get black oxide and a couple other versions. They do have Tanto serrated, draw point serrated. There's lots of options again in the description below. This is the stonewash finish there. This is going to have a maximum thickness back here of 0.13, so good and stout. Coming down, very mild swedge, but giving you really good strength there into that tip for stabbing and penetrating, and then amazing. Gerber recently, with all the stuff I've been reviewing from them, has done amazing with the relief edges. Love the relief edges. Razor sharp on this knife. Coming in with S30V steel, they do a great job with their heat treat. They don't overheat it, or not overheat it, but, you know, over harden it so that it can chip out as easily as some other models that I've seen, and it's pretty easy to get an edge on their S30V versus other companies out there. Sometimes it's just a bear. So like out in the field, particularly if you're in like law enforcement or military, this is going to be able to be worked on out in the field, which is great. Great belly, awesome slicer. And, you know, it's a bigger, heavier duty blade. You know, it's not a FFG 1/8 inch thick. So food prep, it's not the best at, but most other tasks, regardless if it's woodscraft, regardless if it's slicing through nylon rope, rubber, paracord, you know, all those different type of tasks that you would need to go through, it's going to be able to do that really well. The blade is so wide and has a really, it's just a big blade. So I wouldn't say it's the most suited for really precise EDC. You know, like a Spyderco Delica 4 or something is going to be obviously way better at like pure slicing and precision cutting, but this has so much going for it. And with particularly the relief edge and massive belly, the harder, heavier duty utility tasks, you're going to totally love using this knife. Man, this blade just wants me to yell freedom. Totally digging it. All right, so one other thing I want to hit, if you are in an area that does not allow autos, there is a manual version for the 06. They call it just the 06 manual instead of auto. Pretty simple. I will have links in the description below over to Amazon as well as Blade HQ for both of these items. The autos are going to be way easier to find on Blade HQ. The manual can be found on Blade HQ and Amazon. The manual will run about 120, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. On this guy, the 10-year anniversary edition that we're looking at, that one's going to be like 185 on Blade HQ for that version, and then I believe it's like 175 for just the basic, like black on black or, you know, whatever. 175, and then the Propel is going to be about 160 over on a Blade HQ. So again, when you guys use those hyperlinks, it really helps me get out there, make videos, make content. So we appreciate when you guys use those hyperlinks. All that stuff to both Amazon and Blade HQ will be in the description below this video. And I've been eyeballing this knife for quite a while. Gerber did send this over to me upon request so that I can give you guys a thorough, honest, full review, pointing out both positive aspects of the knife and negative so that you guys can make a wise choice when you are laying down your hard-earned money and you are looking at USA-made quality and you're wanting an auto or a manual in a monster folder. So, deployment. is awesome. It is an auto, got a huge plunge lock here. Nice, massive button. Again, going to be able to engage with gloves on and that type of thing. Huge plunge lock back there, as you guys can see. Massive. And then you just push that in, depress it, and it'll close. The manual will have the exact same locking system. Again, it'll just have that thumb stud and just open manually that way. But boom, whips open. It's not the fastest auto I own. I do have other ones that will move faster. Even the downrange, the propel is a little bit quicker. It's just because of how massive the blade is. You can just see it's a much bigger blade, so it's just having to move more metal, and so it's just not quite as fast as some autos out there, but it's still got plenty of speed on it there. Massive. You guys can see that there. That stop pin is like probably half an inch thick. That pin right there. So awesome. Love to see that. It does have a safety on it, so the button will not deploy it when it's open like that. Then red is dead. Boom, whips open. You can open that, and then you cannot depress and close the blade. So that's kind of like a safety as well. You can, put it into engage it when it's open, and the button will not disengage the lock. It's not by any means like, oh, it's a fixed blade now. It's so silly when companies, say that, and Gerber doesn't say that, but some companies out there do. A folder is still a folder, but that is nice to see that aspect as well. So 0 complaints with that. If you're lefty, you could do it that way as well. Really nice, great lockup, great centering, dead center. I've had this for, I think, like 4 or 5 months now. Used it a lot. Perfect centering, no issues, no problems with the lockup, deployment, and centering on this 06. All right, the handle. Now, when I was looking at this before I got it, I was a little concerned. I was either this is going to be great or it's going to suck. And I got to tell you, it's great. Now, overall length from front to back is 5 inches, so that is definitely on the bigger end. It is going to be 0.59, so basically 0.6 inches thick. So that is a pretty beefy setup there. Aluminum handle scales with steel liners, and the steel liners have been machined. I'm going to see if I can show that to you. There you go. You can see that in there. And we'll talk about weight here in just a moment. Huge, massive glass breaker right there. So, I mean, this is a super strong knife. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love, like lightweight polymers and, that type of thing. That's all great. But when the rubber, meets the road and you need strength, that this thing could be freaking run over and, probably still function. The handle will definitely still be intact. You throw a polymer, knife on the ground really hard and you're going to get some cracks and damage. So this is going to be a lot more tough and durable than a lot of those other knives out there. Good texturing along here. Good jimping that's not aggressive, but does give you the traction that you would need. And I wear large size gloves. And guys, I got to tell you, this thing is amazing. I thought it would be like really bricky and clunky. It does not feel like that at all. 0 hot spots. Feels great in the hand. Love it. Each cutout is perfectly set up for my hand. I have 0, I'm not like resting on a hump or anything like that. Great, kind of curvature back there so that I can, do those non-lethal pommels with that glass breaker if need be. Huge lanyard hole, by the way. 550 paracord would be easy. Reverse grip, super locked into place. And that's the other thing is that you're got a huge, massive lockup up here. And then this thumb ramp working really well. I mean, basically like the guard on a freaking, sword. I mean, that's what it looks like. And you're totally locked in, so you're not going to accidentally right up and cut yourself. You're actually closer than even some other knives out there, so you are pretty close to the blade itself, which is great. And even the way that this upper guard may get in the way, you would think might get in the way, like some knives out there, particularly like daggers and stuff. But I can easily rest my thumb right there, engage, and do nice controlled cutting for a long, long time. It doesn't bite in here, doesn't cause any pain or hot spot there. Really gives me a good shelf to just rest, and I can make feather sticks. I could do, a spear or something like that if I had to. So I wouldn't say this is an outdoor, wilderness knife. There's better stuff out there for that, but if you were using it in that capacity, it would totally do the job. So super impressed, not only for military, tactical application of being locked in and giving you traction, but also giving you really good control and really good grip on the knife. And you're not super far away as far as some other knives out there. You're about probably 3/4 of an inch from the blade itself. Now you may be asking yourself, and that's what we're really gonna hit, is weight. This thing comes in at 7.1 ounces. That's right, 7.1 ounces. To give you some perspective, here is the Gerber Strong Arm. So well loved and used. I have like 3 or 4 of them. Check out the BDZ1 or BZ, I can't remember now. I think that was right. One. They only made 2,000 of those. That's a great steal. Totally love that. This 420 high carbon one is fantastic. This guy comes in at about 7 ounces. And that is a larger fixed blade knife. And then going back to this guy's little brother here, the Propel, this guy is going to be 5 ounces. So things to think about. And really, this part of the video, I just want to give you some concept here. Where are you planning on using your 0.6? And I'm not going to give you the answer. You need to decide. Would it be better to just carry a fixed blade for the same weight? And then we're talking about like 2 ounces more with the sheath, maybe 3 ounces more. And obviously you're getting a full tang, bigger handle. We're talking about like an inch longer blade, thicker blade. Obviously you can, hack, baton, split, pry, do a lot more stuff that you wouldn't want to do with a folder. I'm not saying that eliminates the need for the 0.6. I love the 0.6, but it's in the same weight class. So that's something that you really need to consider, and particularly when you're counting all your ounces, if you're building out your LBE system, you're in law enforcement, military, just decide. And maybe it's both. Maybe it's like, yeah, I rock both of these when I go out on patrol or whatever, and then, I take my rig off and I leave my strong arm or a similar, combat utility knife on my rig at all times, and then this still gives me huge strength and capability, close to what this strong arm can do, but then I can carry it in my pocket, and I'm not having to worry about mounting a sheath on my belt somewhere. It's less obtrusive. People don't know I have it, blah, blah, blah. So there's just things to think about. And really, for me, where you need to decide, if you're looking for EDC, 99% of you, it would be better for you to go with the Propel. And I know they're soon coming out with like stainless steel or like aluminum handles and drop point versions. I'm going to try and get my hands on those as soon as I can. So those will be even better for EDC. But lightweight tactical, I would say, or EDC, this is definitely going to be your better option. It's thinner, it's lighter weight, and it's just going to give you more options with the pocket clip. It's going to ride a little bit deeper. That's where this would be if you're kind of more looking for like tactically EDC, minded. This thing, I would say, is much more like hard use, military, law enforcement, ranchers, farmers, construction workers, and you just need like a bear of a folder. That's where this comes in. So here are my final thoughts on these two Gerber autos. I literally look at this knife and I just say like, holy crap, this thing is just like a bulldozer in your pocket. So you have to decide, is this really the knife for you? Coming in at almost 7 ounces, the same weight as the fixed blades that we talked about today. Performance is amazing. They do a great relief edge, good, features. It's a great, well-built, tough knife. Totally dig it. You just have to decide if you want a monster in your pocket or if you want something a little bit more lightweight, maybe a little more practical. I'll tell you, for me, this is the heaviest, biggest pocket knife I own, and I am not getting rid of it. There's just a level of cool from time to time when I throw it in my pocket, when I'm not really worried about weight that day, and maybe I'm not wearing like slim down, dress, clothing and attire or something like that. To have this monstrosity in your pocket, you just know that you're like, yeah, I'm going to take on the British when they charge me with their horses, and I'm going to take them out with my Claymore pocket knife. So guys, I hope this video has helped you out decide if you want a beast or not. Thank you so much for coming over here today, checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you guys may have. Check us out on all the relevant social media. That's a great way to see what's up and coming down the line. And finally, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.